once again today to actually deliver another stream of Orb on the Moons of the Earth, the anime series. Right, and with that, we're good to go. So yes, we actually are watching episode 10 of Orb, which is honestly quite a shock to realize we're only 10 episodes in. Technically we're 8 because it did have a 2-episode premiere, but we're technically episode 10. It's a bit confusing. Anyway, yeah. So episode 9 was, by all accounts, a pretty fucking peak, I must say. The production really went out of its way that last week, actually kind of portrayed the moments I hoped that they would actually portray really damn well. The scene with Kozzy saying proclaiming his wanting to view a full Venus. Oh, that scene was beautiful. It was actually, I was like, Madhouse, you're back. Thank God. I wasn't fearing too much because it's just because I didn't want the production to implode by episode 12, and then the later parts kind of get ruined because of the adaptation kind of failing to actually capture the magic. But if episode 9 is anything to go by, we actually do have some hope still that actually can in theory like deliver a pretty fucking good adaptation, all things considered. But yeah, I mean, episode 10 leads into more peak, so I can't wait to actually see how they adapt it. And I imagine I kind of sort of know where they might end the core on now, so I guess we'll see. I just can't wait to see what else they will do with this show, because this show is fucking great. Alright, let's actually put on, it's actually gone live before I forget to, like I always say. Right, so streaming. Come by and get comfy as we watch some more. Right, we're good to go. So let me put on the right tab. Don't actually put this tab on, but it's easy to read. Right, anyways, actually start this thing in 3, 2, 1. Let's start this thing absolutely now. Got there eventually. Thank you. That stopwatch thing sometimes works, sometimes doesn't. It's kind of weird. Anyway, yeah. So, what this show does do, and it does it really damn well, is that it has the smaller character moments. Because I've been kind of going on about it for a long while with this show. Is that I feel like this show excels in the smaller character moments. The scene of Kozzy actually slowly getting out the shell he was in originally to actually then want to look up and actually see that full Venus. It was a moment that you're like, holy shit, this is unheard of from like the prior Kozzy. So stuff like that really does go a long way to actually kind of to actually just tell us how good these moments actually are for. I can't say words. What I'm trying to say is, it goes a long way to actually say that this show excels in the smaller character moments as well as the big moments as well. And it's one of those things that I can't wait to see what else the show does do, and actually how well it actually adapts those smaller character moments, because there's oodles of them. That's what I kind of love about this show. Because don't get me wrong, episode 3 was this grandiose episode, but I kind of feel like the episodes that came after that point trump the episode completely because of those smaller moments they have. And to see Kozzy just grow as a character in that short space of time and it felt organic was amazing. That's what I'm trying to say. I can't say words sometimes. My brain works way too fast. I kind of realize that sometimes. I want to say words, my brain doesn't actually allow me to say the words I want to say. So I'm constantly battling my brain. God damn. He's so blunt as well. I do love Badeni as well, because he does have, he has like kind of like demeanor about him that he doesn't give a shit, and he will just tell you that he doesn't give a shit. But he does actually have that like that humanity about him as well. That's kind of buried beneath it. He's so cool. I do still also like how they're actually utilizing the lighting in this show as well. It's quite an interesting. It's quite an interesting thing. It's not. It's not a. It's not to. It's almost its own character in a way. The lighting in this show. So I kind of feel like also you could actually just say like the way that the show went from prior to this episode as well. There's a lot more. What I was trying to say was that there's a lot more lighting on the characters than beforehand, especially with Akazi's character, because a lot of the prior episodes were in the dark or very very low lighting. Now that he's slowly starting to kind of actually get out of that shell he's in, you see more light essentially. I don't know whether or not that's might be what they're trying to imply, or I'm reading too much into it. Who knows? I do love how Badeni actually speaks as if he came up for Shaft show. Because everyone in Shaft speaks like really goddamn fast. There always is that concept as well that whenever you kind of strive for knowledge, especially in this world, goddamn, in this world it's like you strive for a bit of knowledge and then everyone else is like, hey mate, kind of calm down a bit there. It does lead to tragedy sometimes as well. Damn, is that the lighting just perfectly just shined like that immediately. I guess maybe that might be introspective. At the same time, I have to believe that the lighting just perfectly shone through the windows at that point, like just to create that dichotomy. Okay, but the scars are cool though. Yeah, it's got the cool man scars. I do sometimes say like, oh, the production's a little bit kind of low on the lower side, but you know, they do love Badeni a lot. Every single shot of him's amazing. It sort of reminds me of how they treated Gojo in the adaptation of Jujutsu Kaisen with Mappa. Every single shot of him was just like, what the fuck? I do also like how they explore that as well, like the idea of the pursuing how to change the world. Do you change it with truth, or how the church does it? Basically, it's quite interesting. They always do kind of harken back to it quite often in these arcs. I always find it quite interesting how each character has their own way of looking at it. Damn, how fast can a Koze actually dig a hole or a tunnel, basically? I guess. Like I said, you can tell they love. You can tell Madhouse loves Badeni. I respect it. It's one of those times you're like, yeah, I get it. Bro's locked the fuck in. He's like, wait a minute. I think he locked in a bit too hard though. They also kind of like that the stars always like are around. It's obvious. Don't get me wrong. Don't get me wrong. I'm not like saying anything out of the ordinary, but you get what I mean. I like how the stars are always like present as well. bro do be building that tunnel though? Holy shit. Love how he's like, I just got him fucking done it. Also liked how the sun was like rising. Like the prior scene when they were starting, it was like way down low, and now it's actually like very, very much in the actual scene. In the actual scene itself. Again, there might be a double meaning there as well. Oh god, this guy. Well, the guy that will get introduced, I guess. So would it be this week? This week or next? He might get introduced. I do also kind of like that they present the bishop in this like serene lighting and like all in white and everything like that to represent purity and everything like that. Stuff you associate with the church and the shit they do. It's kind of interesting. I do actually kind of like again the double meaning behind the way that they present the scenes. It's quite interesting. It adds a lot. It adds a lot more show don't tell essentially. It's also very soft spoken as well, which actually kind of I think it's a very interesting way of characterizing the way they actually are versus how they're meant to be perceived. Kind of love how chill he is as well, even though he's like committed a lot of. I mean, he every single character he voices like commits a couple of crimes here and there, and he kind of like he's still kind of cool though. But I love how kind of chill Nowak actually is as a person. Like he just doesn't care. He's still just there. He's just kind of there. He's just kind of vibing. I mean, even though the vibes are completely off. But yeah, I mean, overall, once again, a very good episode. It's one of those ones that it's more of a setup episode than anything else because it does mostly set up the rest of the last bit of the core, I guess. Because I imagine next episode will probably be the first half of it probably be the calm before the storm, and then I guess we'll see. So yeah, but I mean, what I kind of like the episode as well is, again, the production itself has improved a lot. It's sort of stopped being, I guess, less than stellar. I mean, the scenes in this episode were actually really fantastic. The scenes with Badeni in it, for example, my god. You think Madhouse, Madhouse loved that boy a lot, and we all do, but I'm just saying, Madhouse especially, I was like, holy shit, they're already going all out on this man. And I kind of like it. I like the presence of the sun rising and the sunset as well, and also the stars as well. I kind of like that because, again, it's more or less you could interpret it to be a show don't tell aspect of the show as well, because the idea that they're slowly starting to kind of like, it's the start of them actually getting the idea going, and then when Badeni actually gets it complete, the sun's fully raised. Risen. The sun's fully risen at that point. That's the one I was trying to figure out the word for. It's completely risen at that point, which I kind of like, because again, it's one of those things that adds a lot more to the world, because this show does thrive on the show don't tell aspects. Because like I said during the end of this episode as well with the bishop's all in white, his hair's white, everything is serene, everything's beautiful, everything's heavenly in a way, which is everything you associate with the church, which is what everyone's been meant to be taught the church actually is, this heavenly place that you go and for worship, and then everything sort of kind of spirals out of control from there, because let's be real, we know what the church does. We also know what the Inquisitors do as well. So it's stuff like that really does go a long way to actually characterize this world in a very unique way that isn't just saying, by the way, we're evil, essentially. I like that, because again, shows have employed it a bit more than usual recently than, say, 5 years ago. Because 5 years ago, I was like, holy shit, show don't tell. I haven't seen this in a while. But nowadays, you're kind of like, I see show don't tell quite a lot now. But I still like it, because it's one of those things that, especially in this show, which really does rely on the actual stars, the sun, and everything like that, it does go a long way to actually add more to it. And also, like I said, I like how Okotie is actually slowly starting to grow as well. That he's writing his book and everything like that. It really goes to show you that this character has changed from episode one we got first introduced to him to last week's episode and this week's episode as well. He's changed a lot, and I like that about him as well, because it's one of those things that prior to this whole entire episode, I don't think I would have ever thought he would A, look up at the sky, and B, actually write a book as well. But he's doing all these things, and it's actually really admirable to see him grow. And again, it doesn't feel rushed. It doesn't feel anything like that. It feels genuine to the actual plot. And it really goes a long way to actually show you how good the character writing in this show is, that you don't ever feel like you're just getting rushed along to get to the next arc. You actually just take it. The pace itself is amazing. Like I kind of can't stress enough how much I adore the pacing of the show, because it's one of those things I don't see it too often. Because 9 out of 10 times, shows have a long time to actually develop these characters. In this show, arcs typically last around about, say, 5 to 10 episodes if we're lucky. But in those episodes, you get so much context to the characters that you feel like you've known them your whole entire life. And it's one of those things that is admirable to see a show do that, and do it in such a short space of time. And I kind of hope that this show gets more recognition in that way for that reason, because again, it's amazing to see a show do this so goddamn well and so effortlessly that you kind of think to yourself, why can't more shows do this? And yeah, I mean, I can't wait to see I can't wait to see how Madhouse adapts the rest of this arc, because again, the next episode will probably be very interesting in the character point of view, and subsequently as well, the next episodes after that point even more so. So I can't wait, and also I'm scared at the same time, because I don't know, because Madhouse have improved a lot in like 2 weeks, and I kind of want to see how well they adapt the rest of it. So yeah, that is me done for today. So as always, actually have enjoyed the entire stream as a whole on Twitch. And as always, do leave a follow on Twitch where you do see these streams live. Actually have then enjoyed this whole entire stream as a whole. And as always, leave a like on YouTube, leave a sub as well. Both do help quite a lot. Both will, oh actually no, wait, the next part will tell you. And actually have then enjoyed the entire stream as a whole on YouTube as well. And always, as always, do follow me on Twitter. It does help quite a bit. Also, actually will then know when any streams are live and any other streams I may do as well. So yeah, until next episode 11 of Orb on the Movements of the Earth, I'll see you guys then. Bye for now.